As an Android TV developer, you've dedicated time and effort to create a great watching experience for your users. Currently with Google Cast, users are able to cast to Android TV to watch their content and use their phones to control playback. While this provides users with an easy way to quickly jump into their content, we also want them to be able to control their TV with a remote like they're accustomed to. Cast Connect bridges this gap to your native experience, allowing users to cast directly into their native TV experience. Then they can either pick up the remote or use their phone to continue to interact. Hi, I'm James Romo from the Nest Partner Engineering Team, and I'm going to tell you about Cast Connect, the solution to seamlessly combine Cast with Android TV to bring your app to the modern Cast experience. A web receiver is an HTML JavaScript app that runs on your Cast device, such as Chromecast and Google Nest Hub. Senders are an Android or iOS app, Chrome browser, or voice with Assistant, which triggers connections to Cast devices. Before Cast Connect, if you used your phone or voice to cast to Android TV, your content would play on the web receiver. You would then be forced to return to your phone to continue to browse content, instead of using the Android TV remote. The goal of Cast Connect is to combine the best of both worlds. It allows users to easily start a session with their voice or mobile device and continue to control the experience with a remote to easily re-engage with your Android TV app. Let's take a look at how to add Cast Connect to your app. To prepare for Cast Connect, your Android TV app will need to use Jetpack, Android X. It will also need to be integrated with Media Session to provide playback data, including metadata and playback state. Wire up basic callbacks such as play, pause, and seek, and specify supported actions. To enable support for Cast Connect, you'll need to pull in the new Play Services Cast TV library, which includes all of the Cast Connect APIs. You'll also need to provide the Android TV package name and register your Android TV test device and the Cast Developer Console, so your native app can be properly launched. In addition, your Android, iOS, and Chrome Sender apps will need to set the flag to enable Cast Connect, which I will show you how to do shortly. This is a new field available for your Android receiver app on the Cast Developer Console. Here you will provide the package name of your Android TV app so that Cast Connect is able to properly launch your app. During development, you'll need to register your Android TV for it to launch the native app properly. By default, an app can only launch natively if it was installed from the Play Store for security reasons. You can find your device's serial number by casting to the device from the developer console or finding the Chromecast built-in app in your device settings. Next, let's take a look at what you need to do for Media Session, which is the basis for Cast Connect. Whenever your playback state changes, you'll need to make sure it's reflected with the playback state compat. Using a builder, set the state and available actions for your media session. These actions are available with the playback state compat and can be customized depending on the type of media being played. Playback state is used to drive the UI and tell your senders the available playback actions in their expanded controller and mini controller. Alternatively, if you use Exaplayer, you can use the Media Session connector to automatically track the playback state instead of tracking the changes manually. Additionally, you'll need to set the metadata for your content currently playing on the media session. Cast Connect will use this information for all the Cast Sender UI. Media session callbacks are used to respond to media actions triggered by Cast Connect in response to sender actions, remote buttons, and voice controls. Once you receive a callback, such as play, pause, or seek, you'll need to update your media session and perform those actions on your player. The key idea for Cast Connect is to maintain your existing Cast functionality by sending the same media status that a web receiver would normally provide. If set properly, your senders will receive the exact same data from the Android TV app, so they will not need to make any changes besides enabling Cast Connect support. This media status is generated automatically by pulling properties from Media Session, as well as additional customizations through modifiers, which I'll talk about shortly. Next, Let's take a look at the senders. The main change you'll need to make on the sender side is simply declaring that they are compatible with a native Android TV app. This can be accomplished on Android by setting the Android receiver compatible flag to true on the launch options on the Android sender. On the iOS sender, this is done by setting the same field on the GCK launch options, which are then set on the GCK cast context. This same field is also available on the cast options for the Chrome sender. If the Android receiver compatible is not set, when you cast to Android TV, it will open the normal web receiver instead of opening your native Android TV app. Now that we have the setup complete on the senders, let's dive into what's needed to add Cast Connect to your Android TV app. First, you'll need to add the launch and load actions to your Android manifest. The launch action lets Android TV know that you support the cast protocol. You'll want to put this action in the first activity that you want to load when a session is first launched, such as the app home screen. The load action is required so that your Android TV app is able to handle your load requests coming from your senders. These actions are usually handled in your player activity or another activity that you use to handle your deep links. When you create a media session, you'll need to specify the current media session token in the media manager so it knows where to send commands and get the media status. When you release your media session due to inactive playback, you should set a null token to the media manager. Here's an example of properly handling the load intent in a player activity. On create, you'll want to set the media load command callback to handle the load events. I'll talk about that more in a second. In both the onCreate and onNewIntent, you should handle the intents that are fired to see if they are load intents from the cast SDK. Using the media manager, you can check this intent using onNewIntent to see if it's coming from the Cast Connect. If it is, simply return early and it'll be passed to the media load command callback and onload will trigger when the intent has been parsed. If not, continue handling your non-cast intent like you normally would. Here's an example of media load callback command callback we just set previously. As you can see, the onload takes in a media load request data object, which is the same kind of load request you normally get from your web receiver and contains the same information. Parse the load request like usual, passing the information to your player to start playback, and set the data on your media manager. And it's that simple. You should now have content playing natively on your Android TV device. Next, let's take a look at handling cast-specific media commands. Previously, you saw how to set up your media session to handle simple actions like play, pause, and seek. However, Cast SDK has more advanced features that media session doesn't cover. Media command playback handles cast-specific actions such as setting tracks for captions and different audio languages, and the ability to skip ads. Using the info passed in to set these callbacks, you can perform these actions on your player. Additionally, you may have noticed that media session doesn't cover everything your app needs to apply your business logic. Since the media status is the foundation for the cast protocol, ports the playback status to the senders, and is generated from the media session, it needs to be further customized to reflect the cast-specific properties. You can use modifiers from the media manager to overwrite fields, provide app-specific details such as live or ads data, and provide any custom data that your web receiver would usually provide to your senders. These modifiers can be set once and will persist and be updated for every media status sent out until they're removed. Additionally, Cast Connect provides a media status interceptor, which allows for one last chance to check and set values on the media status before it's sent over the wire. Common situations might be debugging, logging, adding analytics, and other business-specific cases. Next, let's take a look at the features of Cast Connect. We are proud to announce that Cast Connect supports our existing cast features including tracks, queuing, ads, and live. One new feature that's supported is the ability to fall back to the web receiver when a device attempts to connect to the Android TV device using a load request checker. Android TV is historically a mostly single user experience, while Cast can be used by multiple users at once. There may be situations where your Cast sender user doesn't match the Android TV user, and the Android TV app is unable to switch on the fly or deliver the same content from a different user. In these cases, the checker is able to check the credentials of the user attempting to connect to the Android TV and instead open the web receiver. Let's take a look at how to set those credentials on the senders. On Android, this is done by setting the launch credentials data on your CAS context. It includes the credentials as well as the credentials type, which defaults to the current platform. This can be customized to any value, which can come in handy if the credentials are coming from a different source. iOS has the same ability to set the launch credentials, but must be set after the options are set on the context. On the Chrome sender, you can provide the launch credentials data for the CAS context after the options are set. If your Android TV needs to be able to decide whether to launch the native app or the web receiver, depending on the sender credentials, you will need to set a launch request checker in your receiver options provider. In this checker, you can override the check launch request support method. If it returns true, the native TV app will be launched. If it returns false, your web receiver will be launched instead. Launch request, which includes the credentials data that your senders provided. Depending on your app, you can allow or disallow anonymous users, check credentials depending on the platform, and reject or allow the launch if the credentials don't meet your conditions. This allows for a ton of flexibility to let your apps perform the way you want them to. And that covers the basics of CAS Connect and how to add this exciting new feature to your existing Android TV and CAS apps. Be sure to check out our documentation, samples, and code labs for more in-depth information. And subscribe to our announcements to get the most up-to-date information about CAST. Thanks, and happy casting!